Hello, boys and girls. How are you today? Doing good? All right, that's what I thought. I am doing great. And just in case that you have forgotten, this is Mr. Broussard, and we are going to do some science today. Yes, of course, science. That's what we do. Did somebody say that we're going to do math? We are going to do science. And we have been exploring the movement of the sun. The movement of the sun. What was wrong with that sentence? The movement of the sun. That's right. The movement of the earth on its own axis and around the sun. So we've been exploring that. And today, we really want to concentrate on shadows. We've talked about that, I think, probably quite a few months back. But we want to make sure that we understand this perfectly, that we can understand. Well, let's look at the learning target. Let me show it to you so that we know exactly what it is that we are supposed to be exploring today. So the learning target is I can explain what shadows are and what causes them. Okay, so what causes the shadows? So what are shadows and what causes them? That's our target for today. So what do you know right now before we do the lesson? What do you know about shadows? What are shadows? So what do you know, okay, about shadows? So I would like you to take maybe 5 minutes, okay, to write down everything that you know about shadows. So what do you know about shadows? Write it down. And now I would like you to share. So share with your classmates, what do you already know about shadows? So now take maybe 2 or 3 of you could take a few minutes to share what you know about shadows. So you already know a lot about shadows. And now I just want you to take just a couple of minutes, okay, for you to write down what are some things that you want to know about shadows, that you're curious about when we are talking about shadows. So what are some things that you want to know about shadows? So write down anything that you are thinking about, that you're interested about, that you're curious about, things that you want to learn about shadows. Well, I was not able to see your questions, but I hope that during this lesson and the following lesson, okay, we will be able to answer most, if not all, of the questions that you might have about shadows, things that you don't already know about shadows. So let's keep our fingers crossed. And even though I did not see the questions that you have, that we will be able to answer them throughout these lessons, okay? So we're going to read an article, but before we do that, I have a few questions for you, okay? Just a couple. So the first question is, what is something that is necessary for shadows to happen? What do we need, okay, in order for shadows to happen? So that's the first question. So what do we need for shadows to happen? Okay. Another question is, do shadows change size? Do shadows change size? Okay. I have another question for you. Do we have... No. Let me rephrase this question differently. The question that I really want to ask is, do all objects have shadows? Okay, so I don't know what you answered to those questions, but now we're getting ready to read this article. Let me show you the link to the article. So the article is Keeping Cool with Shadows, okay? Keeping Cool with Shadows. And this is the article, okay? I'm going to read some of that together with you. So let's go ahead and read together. Keeping Cool with Shadows. You might not always notice, but when you are in the sun, your shadow is often nearby. It may be in front of you or behind you, or it may be on your side. Wherever it is, your shadow looks like you and moves like you. So it says that your shadow can be in front of you, behind you, or on your side. I wonder why. Let's continue reading the article. 2 things are needed to make a shadow. The first is light. The second is something that blocks the light. Together, these 2 things make an area that is darker than what is around it. The area is called shadow. What 2 things do we need? That's right, light and an object. So those are the 2 things that we need. Let's continue. Outside, people make shadows when they block light from the sun. Think about what happens when the sun is behind you. Your body blocks some of the sunlight, causing a shadow to form in front of you. The shadow takes on the shape of your body. When the sun is in front of you, the shadow forms behind you. The sun is to your left. If the sun is to your left, then the shadow forms to your right. If the sun is to your right, then the shadow forms to your left. Okay, this article is pretty simple, so you can continue reading on your own. So please finish the article on your own, okay? And remember, we are looking for the question, what is a shadow and what causes a shadow, okay? And I think we've almost had those questions answered, but continue reading, please, on your own, okay? So keep reading. All right. There is one paragraph that I wanted to read with you, another one. So let's go to that paragraph. I want to make sure that you got that because it's very important, okay? All right, it says, shadows come in many sizes. A small person makes a small shadow. A big building makes a big shadow. Now, this is part that I really wanted you to remember. The position of the sun affects the size of a shadow. A person or object blocks more light when the sun is low in the sky. More blocked light makes shadows longer. Less light is blocked when the sun is high in the sky. This makes shadows shorter. Okay? So remember, our learning target is what is a shadow and what causes it. Okay? I think we got it from this article, but there is a video that explains it very nicely that I want you to watch. Let me show you the link to that video. And it is just right here, shadows video, okay? So click on that, and it is this video, okay? So watch this video. And make sure that you are paying attention to that learning target. What is a shadow and what causes a shadow? So watch this video, please. All right. And so now, to make sure that we have accomplished that learning target, I want you to take a few minutes to write down as a paragraph in your notebooks what is a shadow and what causes a shadow. Okay? So take a few minutes to write down what are shadows and what causes them. All right? Time to write a good explanation. All right. So now, if there is time left, please share your explanation with other students. Okay? So time to share. If you have time left, time to share. If you're home and you don't have anybody, another student to share with somebody in your house. Okay? If not, read it to yourself. All right. And we have come now to the end of this lesson. I hope that we were able to answer some of your questions that you wanted to know. And we still have another lesson on shadows. So we might be able to answer those questions later, okay? So today, I just want to make sure, the lights went off. But anyways, you can still see my face. I just wanted to make sure that you understand what is a shadow and what causes a shadow, okay? So thank you so much. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. Remember that science is everywhere. Look for it, okay? And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.